Alright, time for the systems of inequalities solutions. On each of these, you're just going to graph both of the inequalities on your coordinate plane here, and then add in your shading, and the part that gets double shaded is where your answers are. So I'm going to graph this first one. It has a y-intercept of -3. So I'm going to start here right on the -3, and it has a slope of 4, so from here I'm going to go up 4, right 1, and that'll give me another point. And I can do that another time there. And this right here says it can't be equal to, so I'm going to use a dashed line. It's to draw my line here. So dashed line, and it says greater than, so I need to shade up above the line. If you look at your line, up is that way, and so I'm going to do my shading. Here, let me just kind of keep it on the coordinate plane there. But that's the side I need to be shading. And then my other one, I'm going to do it in blue. But there's my second one. It has a y-intercept of +3, so I'm going to start right there on +3. It has a slope of -2, so I'm going to down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, and just keep getting points that way. So I have a point right there, point there, point there, point there, and I can actually go the other way a little bit. But this one says it can be equal to, so I'm going to draw a solid line connecting this up. Arrow on the end, and this says greater than. So greater than is the side this away. So I'm going to put my shading like that. And if you look at that closely, this region up here is where the double shading is. So that's the answer region. And let's switch over to 2. This first line has a y-intercept of +3. And it has a slope of -5, so I'm going to go down 5, right 1 to get another point. And that's actually as many as fit on this graph here. This says greater than or equal to. Since it can be equal to, I'm going to just connect this up with a solid line. And yours should look straight and beautiful and be everything that your heart would ever want in a line. So draw straight like that. It's going to be solid, and this says that it's greater than, and the greater than side is that way. And so I'm going to be shading this way, like so. Where all that's the greater than side. And I'm going to graph this other one in blue. That says y greater than -2. Well, that line falls right here on this horizontal here, and it can't be equal to, so I'm going to do a dashed line here for my line, and it says greater than. The greater than shading is up above, like so, which gives us the answer region here. Let me make that a little bit colored in. And there's number 2. Let's move on to 3. My first one says y less than 3. Again, all the y values on this horizontal here have all the y values are 3 there. It can't be equal to, so I'm going to do a dashed line right here going horizontal. And that says less than. The shading for less than is this way. I'm going to kind of do it diagonally just so you guys can see it a little bit better. And then I'm going to graph my other line in blue because that seems like a good color. It has a x-intercept of +1. And that number in front of x, which isn't there, is -1. So you go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. You can keep getting points that way. So there's a lot of points you can get. Like so, like so. And this one it can be equal to, so I'm going to make this one solid. Just going through all the points there. Put arrows on the end, and it says less than. Less than is this away. So, once you have that, there's going to be a double shaded region, which is right here. Get the solid borders there, and that's our double shaded region, so that's where all the answers are. Let's move on to 4. On this one, my first one, the y-intercept is -3, so I'm going to put a point there. And the slope is the number in front of x, which is not there. So that number is 1. There's always an invisible 1 there, so you go up 1, right 1. and you can get points. Just keep going up one, right one. You can also go down one, left one. And we get that guy. This one can be equal to, so I'm going to do a solid line, like so. Solid line. And this part says greater than. The points that are greater are above the line. So I'm going to be shading on this side of my line, like so. And then I'll graph my other one in blue. This guy here has a y-intercept of -1, so I'm going to put a point there. And the number in front of x, which isn't there, is 1, so we have, again, a slope of -1. Down one, right one, down one, right one, down one, right one. It gives us all the points we need. Really, you just need 2, and as soon as you got 2, you can draw your line. I'm going to put a lot on here just to guide me, because I don't have fancy straight edge I can use on this screen. So we got that. I'm going to draw my line. And as I draw this, you should think to yourself, why is it solid? Well, that's because this guy here can be equal to. And it also says greater than, and greater than is on this side of my lines. So it's going to look something like that. And then I have this region up here, this upper middle region that got double shaded. That's where all the answers are. So I'm going to make that a little bit darker, and so that's the answer region. Let's move on to 5. I'm going to graph this first one, where x is less than or equal to -3. Well, -3 is over here. And all the x values that are vertical with that point are also -3. And so my line is actually just a vertical line here. If I could actually draw something vertical. So vertical line here. And this says less than. Well, less than, if you think about x's, which ones are less than -3? The ones over here or the ones over here? Well, it's the ones on the left. So I'm going to have my shading here on the left side. And then I'm going to take my second inequality, and I need to solve for y first. So I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides to get 3y greater than or equal to -5x minus 9. I'm going to divide everything by 3 now to get y greater than or equal to -5/3 x minus 3, because that's what this guy is going to be when you simplify it down. This has a y-intercept of -3, and the slope, which is in front of the x there, is a slope of -5/3. Well, I can't go down 5, right 3 here, so I can go up 5, left 3, and that'll give me another point, which is going to be right there. And these points together, since this is greater than or equal to, they're going to make a solid line, like so. And this says greater than, so greater than means I need to shade this away. That's the side that's up above the line. And there's this little region in the top left section that got double shaded. And so that's where the answers are, just in that little region right there. And I think we have time in this video for number 6 here. I'm going to take this first equation here. I need to solve for y, so I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides to get -3y less than -4x plus 9. I need to now divide everything by -3 to get my y by itself. That will give me y greater than, make sure if you divide by a negative, you switch the direction of your inequality. We're going to get greater than 4/3 x minus 3. That's what this guy here is simplified. 4 divided by 3 is just 4/3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Make sure you look for your signs. So there's my first one. It has a y-intercept of -3. That's the number not with the x. It has a slope of 4/3, the number in front of the x. So I go up 4, right 3, right 3. So up 4, right 3 is going to give me this here. And since this says greater than, but not equal to, I'm going to use a dashed line to draw. Looks like that. And since it says greater than is that away. So I'm going to be shading this direction on my inequality. So it looks something like that. And I'm now going to solve this other one here For y, I'll subtract x from both sides to get 3y greater than negative x plus 6. Divide everything by 3. You get y greater than, well, x divided by 3 is just 1/3 x, so I'm going to get negative 1/3 x. And then 6 divided by 3 is 2, so I have plus 2. That's my other inequality. It has a y-intercept of positive 2, the number not with the x. It has a slope of negative 1/3, so I can go down 1, right 3 to get a point. I can also go up 1, left 3, which will give me this point here. And since I have that, and since that says greater than but not equal to, I'm going to draw my dashed line. And since it says greater than, I need to shade up above my line. The up above region is right here. And this top middle section got double shaded, so that's where the answers are. Let me get that shadedness going. So there we go. We have all that shaded, and 6 is done.